So we have our lovely little baby here. It's about the size of a newborn baby. Not the weight of a newborn baby, about the size of a newborn baby. And the baby inside of you is really curled up tight. So we can get this baby in a nice little curled position, which is the way the baby is inside your body. Then we show you your pelvis, or the bones that your baby's sitting in, like its little basket. Now, you'd think the pelvis would sit like this, but it doesn't. It sits like this. Okay, so it's way different. It tilts way forward. Okay, so it's important to know that the pelvis is supposed to be tilted forward. Most of us think we're sitting on our sit bone, but we're not supposed to. It's actually supposed to tilt like this. Here, these pockets are for your leg bones to come down, and they should come straight up into this bone as a socket that holds it real firm. So if we do this, or we do this, it's not going to help to get our baby in the right position, because the baby has to navigate this pocket right here. If you see the kind of average size of a newborn baby and the average size of a pelvis, the way that most of the time a baby will fit in best is they will face your back, and this is your tailbone right there, and your backside right here, and the baby will fit in with its head just like this. You'll notice that the baby's back is toward the front of your body. The baby's front is toward the back of your body. This is called anterior, where the baby faces anteriorly. Okay? Is that a word, anteriorly? I think I pronounced that wrong. Okay. And it can be on this side, or it can be on this side. The position that most of the time is the most efficient for birth is to have the baby with its back on your left side and kicking on your right. Now, that's the most common. That doesn't mean that that's always the best for you, because you are a human being, and human beings are unique and different, and your body will work in its own way. But this is the most common position we see for a baby. Obviously, if a baby's trying to come out this way, it's not going to work. This is called transverse, where the baby's sideways. It's not going to be able to fit out. If a baby comes out this way, the problem with this is that the body's very soft, so it can slip out much quicker and through a smaller opening than the head, and the body comes out and then the head gets stuck. That's the problem with what we call breech delivery, where the baby is feet first. Now, babies can be born breech. You know, they can come out breech. We just have to make sure that the head doesn't get stuck, okay? So we try really hard to get baby in the best position for birth, so we don't have to worry about this, okay? The other position, and the most common position that people get the most frustrated with, is what we would call a posterior position. Posterior would be where the baby's face is facing your front, and its back is facing your back. The baby's head can only turn certain directions. So if you see how this head is coming out here, you see this diameter here. The diameter, when we put the baby here, because it can bend so much tighter, is much smaller. You can see only this little spot right here, because the baby can bend its neck tighter. And you get a smaller circle of head that needs to come through that canal. If you bend your head completely down like this, this is the smallest spot. But when it's posterior, it has to come out more like this. And this is a much bigger diameter for the baby to come out. So babies that turn toward the front are the most common, what they call in the hospital a malposition. It's just a different position, but it's a position that makes it much harder on mama. Plus, the back of the baby's head is the hardest part, and it's pressing your spine out. So back labor is very, very common and can be very severe, okay? And labor can take longer because of the size and the position of the baby. So if we can get a baby in the position with the back toward the front, particularly with the back left side of the front. This is going to make it easier for you. This is easier for the baby if all your bones are straight. Forms a nice little bowl that the baby fits in, okay? The baby tucks their head. Their head is going to emerge through the cervix as the uterus pushes and pushes from behind. Then they do these what we call cardinal movements, where it turns this way so that the shoulder can fit through the largest area. And as the shoulder fits through a larger area, then the baby comes out like this. Okay? Cardinal movements of the baby. And it's the easiest way in the vast majority of situations for the baby